Welcome to episode 158 of the Schmidt Morning. Today I'm going over a 2021 NFL mock draft, picks 1 through 5. Let's just get into it. Number one overall is likely going to go to the New York Jets. Not a big surprise. However, if they do pull off a win, them and the Jags do both have one win, so it's going to be a possible toss-up if the Jags jump up to getting the number one pick. But let's just stick with it for now. Who's the number one? Which is the Jets? I think the obvious choice, everyone can agree. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence. They're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. He's kind of I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but he's a very rare type of player. He's one of the biggest quarterbacks coming out of college since Andrew Luck. So I'd say once in a decade type of player. And he just really has every type of quality you want from a quarterback. Arm power, arm accuracy. He's got the frame. He's 6'6", which is pretty big for a quarterback. You got to figure most quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". So yeah, they're tall dudes, but Trevor Lawrence being 6'6", then he's going to match up against a 6-foot Drew Brees or 5'11" Russell Wilson. He's just a lot bigger than everyone he's going to be playing against in the NFL. And he's not obviously a running quarterback like Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson, but the dude definitely has mobility and can scramble out of the pocket when needed. And of course, he has quarterback vision. I personally think the Jets should possibly trade the number one pick and see if they could get possibly 3 first-rounders for him. I don't think that's unrealistic. Like I said, he's the biggest quarterback coming out of college since Andrew Luck, so it's definitely possible for them. I think if they could just get rid of Adam Gase, hire a great head coach, and surround Sam Darnold with weapons, he's going to do amazing. Even if you replace Trevor Lawrence with Sam Darnold, even having that type of talent, if you don't surround him with an O-line, with receivers, with a good defense, the kid can't do everything. Obviously, he can do possibly better than Darnold, but you're still not addressing your big problem, which is the entire team. But doesn't matter what I think. What the Jets are probably going to do is draft Trevor Lawrence, and that's expected. Moving on to number 2 overall, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're going to go with Justin Fields. Justin Fields, I don't want to say is similar to Trevor Lawrence, but he has a lot of the same tangibles between mobility, arm power, accuracy. He's not as big as Trevor Lawrence, but he's definitely got that quarterback frame. However, each of those tangibles that he has, like Trevor Lawrence, he's about one tier below. Obviously, that's why he's getting drafted number 2. Probably any other draft except this year, he would be number 1 overall. But being Trevor Lawrence is in the draft, he's not going to go number 1. He does make a few more mistakes turnover-wise rather than Trevor Lawrence does. So that's obviously why he's going below him too. But Justin Fields is an all-around great quarterback. And I personally think if Bill Belichick's going to leave the Patriots and he doesn't go to the Los Angeles Chargers, which I think he should do, but if he doesn't do that, I think he will go to the Jacksonville Jaguars where he gets a rookie quarterback. He'll be the coach. He'll be the GM. He'll have a whole new team to do what he wants. Jacksonville, I don't want to say is a stellar team by any means. Obviously, they have the number 2 overall pick, but they do have fundamentals that are going to be strong for a team to start with. As I'm saying, they're going to get Justin Fields. Their amazing rookie running back right now, James Robinson. And they have DJ Chark. They have a couple receivers. Their defense isn't strong, but it is a team Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, can work with. So I think that's what they'll do. Draft Justin Fields. Bill Belichick is a stretch, but it's a possibility. Number 3 overall, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, we saw his injury, wasn't great. But Penei Sewell, if I'm pronouncing that right, I believe, obviously that could solve the exact situation the Bengals are facing. Penei Sewell, sophomore year, got a second-place Heisman vote his sophomore year, which is pretty amazing for an O-line guy. I mean, they're never really even in the conversation for Heisman. It usually goes to a running back, but more like quarterback. Running backs are probably second most often, and then maybe a receiver, or a defensive guy like Chase Young. Even though he didn't win it, he was in contention. But an O-line is just really, even though they're one of the most important positions in football, really never addressed, and they never get the attention they should. So for him to get recognized that sophomore year has been great. He's arguably, I don't want to say it's not a debate, but it's easily said that he's going to go as the number 1 lineman in this draft. He's the best lineman, and it's looking for a team that needs him. The Bengals are probably one of the most desperate teams that need him besides like the New York Jets or the Chargers. But I think this will address the exact situation the Bengals are looking for, protection for Joe Burrow. Clearly he needs it as he had a season-ending injury, tearing his ACL, MCL, and several other ligaments. I don't even know if he'll be the same, which is a concern. But if he is, this O-line at left tackle is going to be a great addition for him, and the Bengals are definitely going to go for it at number 3. Number 4, we got the Cowboys. Kind of an odd situation. The Cowboys are number 4 overall pick, yet they still have a chance to win that division, so this could possibly change. But let's just stick for today's circumstances. Number 4 overall, I think they're going to draft defense, Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech or Patrick Surtain from Alabama. I personally like Patrick Surtain over Farley, but I don't think they're going to go with him. I think they will go with Farley from Virginia Tech. 6'2", 200 pounds, same size as Surtain from Alabama, but that's pretty big for a corner. I mean, most corners like Richard Sherman or even Jalen Ramsey is pretty tall at 6'1", but most guys like Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson, they're not big dudes, 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", so having 6'2" frames pretty good to take on a 6'3", 6'4", DK Metcalf, Julio Jones. So that's definitely something you want to see. The Cowboys lost Byron Jones, so I don't want to say he was some star talented quarterback, but he's definitely a helpful addition to the Cowboys secondary. Now that they lost him, Farley will be a good addition for them, accompanying Trevon Diggs. And then that's really, after get Farley, going to build a really good Cowboys foundation on defense. Obviously, their defense is one of the worst in the league, but they do have players between Jalen Smith, Aldon Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, Sean Lee at the linebacker position being a great captain for that team. And then, like I said, Trevon Diggs and an addition of Caleb Farley. That's really going to help that team. And I do think there will obviously be some big holes and gaps within the defense, but they'll have the foundation there to build off of and to become, I'm not saying one of the great defenses in the NFL, but one of the better ones compared to what they are today. However, whichever corner they pick, really can't go wrong. I do think Surtain's a better guy, but in my opinion, they will go with Farley. Then, number 5 overall, the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert are going to draft a new head coach. Hopefully, Bill Belichick goes in the draft. I wish. That's not a thing, wish it was, but however, if they do get Bill Belichick, this entire team would be flipped upside down and a lot better. But that's not the point. They're drafting players from college. I think whatever the Cowboys do, the Chargers will do opposite. If the Cowboys draft Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech, the Chargers will take Patrick Surtain from Alabama, and vice versa. If the Cowboys take Surtain from Alabama, the Chargers will take Farley from Virginia Tech. The Chargers are in a similar situation. Their defense has a good roster. They have an amazing pass rush with Joey Bosa alone, but then he's also accompanied by Melvin Ingram on the other side when they're healthy. And then the Chargers secondary, if healthy, and you add Patrick Surtain to their secondary next year between Derwin James, Casey Hayward, Chris Harris Jr., and Patrick Surtain might be the best secondary in football. Obviously, that's bold because the Chargers defense is a reason they're not even in contention this year, along with their O-line. But I think if they're healthy, which is their biggest concern, even outside of this draft, even if they don't have Patrick Surtain and they were a healthy team all around, they could be a possible playoff team, but they're not. So, considering next year, if they're healthy and add Patrick Surtain, you'll have some youth between him and Derwin James, and then some age between Casey Hayward and Chris Harris Jr.'s veterans and young stars. It'll be a good combination for that team to build off of. And like I said, they have a solid pass rush with Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. Then you got Justin Herbert, who I personally think is going to be the best quarterback in the league in a few years. Obviously, I don't know if he'll ever pass Patrick Mahomes because that'll be tough. But if Patrick Mahomes ever loses a step, ever loses Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill, that could open up the spot for Justin Herbert to reach his full potential. Assuming he gets a new head coach, Anthony Lynn is always going to hold him back to a certain extent. But long-term, Justin Herbert is definitely going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. These predictions are all, anything could change. Like I said, the Cowboys could make it to the playoffs, and this will completely change his top 5 picks. The Cowboys could go for a quarterback if they don't re-sign Dak if that doesn't go well. I think they'll franchise tag Dak, again, in my opinion, but could be wrong. I think they'll definitely go for defense or possibly O-line. I'm going to Caleb Farley for them. And then, of course, the Jets could trade. The Jets could win a game, and the Jaguars take the number 1 pick. Anything's possible. Justin Herbert could pull off a few wins for the Chargers. So, obviously, these picks will change, but those are the top 5 picks as of right now, as of today, 2 minute warning.